Hello, good evening. I'm sure you must have felt the goosebumps and the excitement when you talked about PSS 2024. And I am your host and the moderator for today, Jayesh Patel. I'm a founder, an author, an international trade business consultant. So let me introduce why are we here in this evening today. We are here to talk about Professional Speaker Summit 2025, what it is going to bring. And as I'm going to attend for the first time, I am excited and little anxious to know what sort of experiences it brought. And to do that, I would like to invite some of the members of PSI community who have been attended the event last year. So let me start with the theme of the today's talk, which is building momentum into the speaking career, a peep into the experiences of PSS 2024 by the members of the PSI community. So to do that, I would like to request our first panelist, which is Miss Madhu Luke. I'm sorry, Miss Midhu Luke. Uh, Again, sorry, Ms. Midhu Luke. Her expertise is in delivery excellence. She is a risk governance leader, a speaker, a author, and she advocates for resilience. So, welcome, Ms. Midhu, and the panel is open. The second speaker for the event today is Mr. Divesh Soni. He is a senior professional, a talent, capability, and inclusion speaker, and he holds a Six Sigma black belt. I'm sure it's not the karate black belt, but the black belt for people in the quality industry. So, welcome, Ms. Divesh, Mr. Divesh.
Thank you, Desh.
So, how are you both feeling today, this evening?
Excited as always. Evenings with PSAI are awesome.
Yes, I'm
Great, great,
excited.
great, great.
Very excited to share our
And
journey.
yeah. And I see here we have a lot of people from our community. Welcome, Sagar. Welcome, Sureshji. Welcome, Harishji.
Welcome, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
So, as we talk about the event today, I had a very intriguing question as somebody who is going to attend the event for the first time. So, before that, I had a basic question for all of you, for both. So, I would like to start with ladies first, Miss Midhu. So please tell us, why did you join the PCI? I know that you come from a corporate career, and for corporate career the things are very much streamlined, laid out. So what did you actually experience, or what did you have in mind when you thought that okay, PSI is something which I should look for joining, and definitely you have professional speaking career in mind. So could you tell us a little bit more about your motivation?
Sure. Thank you so much, Jayesh. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm so happy to see the group, the tribe out here joining in as well. Hey, hello, everyone, once again. So, I do speak in my corporate career quite a bit, but it's been in my mind to join a tribe of folks. This is my tribe. This is a place where I would like to come and spend my evenings and learn together. So that really was the intention while joining PSCI. A forward movement, a forward growth, moving forward together, sort of a theme. That's what I had in mind. And my goal for 2024 was to develop my speaking skills. So that made me join PSCI.
Oh, great, 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 great. That gives me a lot of motivation. And the same question goes to Divesh, you also. So, what made you join the PACI?
Thank you, Desh, for asking the question. And first of all, hello to everyone who has joined the call and our listeners. So I think for me, one thing which I really believe that all of us as a human being are here to express ourselves. It's very important that you express yourself. It can be in the form of speaking. It can be in the form of any other thing which you are doing. But the expression is very, very important. And I have been trying to express myself. I have been part of Toastmaster before I joined PSAI, and I was looking for some of the platform where I can really align what exactly I wanted to do. And exactly at the same time last year, PSS Live, and Mr. Sandeep Gupta was there as a guest, and he was talking about difference between public speaking and professional speaking, and that was a paradigm shift for me when I understood about that thing. And I was mesmerized to hear that there is an industry which is working and we can really earn with the speaking skills. When I see myself, there is a somehow there is a attraction towards being on this stage and speaking in front of people. I love in future, if I have everything, then I would love to just learn and share with people. That's the thing which that's the way which I look at myself in the future. When I learned about this, I thought that what I want to do, there are people who are already doing it. There are players who are just playing the game. So why not to be in that community where you learn so many things from the people, and there will be mentors who can just accelerate the way I wanted to play the game. So I think that was the thing which really clicked with me. I spoke to Mr. Sandeep Gupta once, and just decided that okay, so I have to be part of this one, and that's how I joined PSAI. That is my story.
And that's very inspiring. Would you like to add something, Vidhu?
Yeah. First of all, Devesh, you and I have some sort of similarity in our backgrounds, Six Sigma, Black Belt as well. So, see, when I'm very much similar to what you just said, right? There is a difference between professional speaking and public speaking. And in my career, I was already speaking out in the professional scenario. So that is where Toastmasters have been on my mind for such a long time, over a decade. So which means that I'm a very slow action taker. I've also been observing what PSA has been up to for a bit before I really stepped in, because I was very clear when I stepped in, what I wanted to do was not public speaking, what I wanted to do was professional speaking. So that's one thing. And I also didn't want too much of force, pressure in my day to day life. I want to take it, I wanted to have small increments, but small increments daily. So small changes daily, small improvements daily. And with this community, which meets so many times a week, those small bits of improvement was really possible. So I observed for a while and then I took the plunge. And when I joined, I also joined about a year ago, Divesh. And the first event that I attended was indeed PSS 2024. And I thought that it was, so rightly timed, right at the beginning of the year. And, that helps you set some goals for the rest of the year as well, you know. So it was a perfect timing for me in terms of, the event also coming up, the summit also coming up. And we also knew what were the themes which are going to be presented in the summit. So I just wanted to add that.
Great, inspiring. I think I have half the story, much similar to yours. And your inspiration, actually, I'm sure the members and the new attendees who will be there would definitely actually get more inspired. So let me ask a question. So this question goes to you, Divesh, that as per you, who can be the speaker? As you come from a corporate world, okay, this is a question from that context, that as per you, who can be a speaker?
I will start from the same point which I mentioned in the previous question, that as a human being, it is important that how do you express yourself, and it is important that you should express. I mean, it's completely your choice that how you want to do that. That's completely your choice. I mean, the question which you're asking about who can be speaker, it can be everyone, because everybody needs to be expressed. And in this particular era after COVID, when we have plethora of information everywhere, you are taking those information that somewhere there has to be balance between absorption and then giving it back to the community. And I think speaking is one of the best medium where you can really share those information, because I just heard somewhere that the way breathing happens, you can't just inhale and can't exhale. You just can't exhale, or you can't, I mean, you can't inhale. That means that there has to be balance between inhale and exhale, and similarly it happens with everything in your life. That's a way, if you are taking the information, you have to share that. And speaking is one of the best medium where you can share the information and you can get the feedback at that moment of time, and you know that how exactly you're performing. So I think everybody can be speaker, and it does not only help in just making yourself a best speaker, but it helps in the other area as well. Like you mentioned about the corporate, corporate environment. When I became part of PSAI, after that, the way uh, the improvement has happened to me, I could see there are a lot of relationship which has improved because of my communication. I could see that I could participate in more and more activities, and that's how I got visibility also in the organization. I was working, so you know my profile says I'm Six Sigma black belt. So I was part of quality team before, but then last year I changed my role from quality to people team now. So I am full time working as a senior people advisor in my company. And I think this kind of community which you have, where you have a lot of learning, and there is a lot of possibility when you expand yourself and you express yourself, the opportunity you can see everywhere. It becomes visible everywhere. So coming back to your question, speaker, anybody can be speaker. It is all about expression. You want to express through speaking, I think that's the best way. If you can do that, there are other ways also, and you can do that that way as well. But I think, for me, I think speaking is the best way you can express yourself. It's just that you have to learn the skill
Hmm.
and just rock
So
with it.
my takeaway is anybody can be a speaker because expression is a natural way of the things. And as far as professional speaking is there, that's a skill that has to be learned.
Yeah.
So, so Miss Midhu, do you share the same perspective, or you have a different perspective to this?
See, I'm of the view, and this is something that I learned from my life and various experiences in life. You need to be happy about what you're doing. So if you feel happy about preparing a topic, delivering it on the stage, possibly getting the feedback and the high that you get, after you deliver a speech, if you like all of that, that is where your heart is pulling you to. That is very important, rather than you know treat every chore that you do as something that you need to do out of responsibility or because something has to be done. And that is the reason why I wanted to do a little more than what I'm doing within my firm, because I loved being on stage. I love to communicate. Self expression, like Devesh said, that is something that gives me a lot of joy, and not just in speaking, but in writing as well. So I think that you need to be really happy doing that, and every aspect of that. Now, speaking is not just about speaking, right? You have to research about your topic. You might be an expert, but you still need to be relevant when you're talking about something. You need to research. You need to customize your speech according to where you're going to deliver it. So if you like all aspects of it, then that is a place that you want to be in. Another aspect, which again I want to take from what Devesh said, if you like being with people, because you're going to speak to an audience, right? You're not always on a podcast, you're always not recording something and talking to the camera. If you like being with people, if you like getting in those messages from folks and then probably fine tuning and adapting and presenting again, so people and the connection with people is also, I think, very important. And another aspect again, if you've got something to convey, so this is again one of the reasons why I'm here. I Resilience is something which is very close to my heart. Stories of resilience, I love collecting that. There's a lot that I also have to share. So that is a message, a key message that I'd like to pass on to people, to be resilient. Now that is a small that is that's a small drop in a big world of speaking, and that is something that I like to constantly like to reiterate, either through my blogs or my speaking. So I love doing that, right? I love passing on that message. Maybe it can help somebody, maybe it can influence somebody. So yeah, so if you've got a story to share, if you've got a message to pass on, speaking is something that can make it very effective.
Thanks, Midhu. I think a key takeaway I take it is that you are happy about doing that thing. That gives you motivation, and definitely, if you create an impact with your motivation, there is no profession like this. So now, since you have been into the journey for almost a year, just wanted to know, this question is for you, Midhu, that how did PSCI support you into your professional speaking journey in the past 1 year?
I can't even begin to tell you how much it has supported me. So, just like I said before, speaking is not just about going and just speaking. You really have to research. Well, you can do a lot of impromptu speaking, like how we are doing right now. Yes, you can do that. But that may not be suitable for all stages and for all topics. Now, the kind of work that you do, I'm into governance, compliance, risk, delivery. So that's the kind of role that I have in my organization. So I really need to research. I need to have my numbers intact. I also need to say the reason why I'm speaking about what I'm speaking, and that too in a convincing manner, right? Because my target audience is leadership, is top management, and also folks who are there at various ranks within the organization. Should be convincing enough to influence across grades and cadres. So there is a lot of preparation that goes in that. Now, stepping away from my firm and company, the my niche which I've chosen for myself is resilience, and specifically I talk about topics which are related to palliative care. So you need to be relevant again, but speaking is a lot of storytelling, right? So you need to also articulate, and you also need to touch the heart of the audience to whom you're communicating. These are bits that I've learned. Also, platform mechanics is extremely important. Body language is very important. It's also important to be in um, a network where these topics are appreciated. That also helps you build your brand, your social media presence, and also taking the business of speaking forward. So these are all small concepts that I've learned. Another thing is that I've been very, very fortunate to be part of mentoring sessions and mentoring groups within PSCI, which again helps me take my journey forward in various ways. Social media presence and branding is something which I've started with PSCI. I've been on LinkedIn for about maybe 15 years. I'm not really sure. A lot of followers, but I have not sent one message out. I've not even forwarded something in my entire life in LinkedIn with LinkedIn in the last 15 years. But joined PSCI and my first post got out, and now I'm publishing regularly. So there is a yeah, PSCI, the people out here, they motivate you so much, inspire you to become your version 2.0. So that's my experience.
I can resonate with your thought because the first day which I felt when I joined the PSAI, that was the first Mumbai chapter meeting, and people just asked me that what did you like about PSAI, and I said that learning comes secondary. The one of the biggest thing which I enjoyed was the vibrant energy, because the energy is so contagious that it takes you from a level X to a 2x level, which probably you might take a lot of energy drinks, you cannot reach that level which the environment brings. So well said, Midhu. Very excited. And the same question goes to you, Divesh. What has been the role of PSCI in your professional speaking journey in the last 1 year?
I think I will echo what Midhu is saying, but I think there are a lot of things which I have experienced right from the day of joining PSAI. The moment I joined, I got some responsibility to manage in PSS 2024. That was a brilliant experience, which you get the autonomy of doing things, but still there is a support. You know that somebody is there to back up, and you work like that. But apart from that, the main thing which I would really like to highlight, what Midhu has also mentioned, was mentorship which has happened. So there are people, uh, there are energies, everywhere. And when you talk to those people, I think you will feel that there are, obviously you will learn few things, but there are also some validation which happens, that you are on the right path when you do those things. And you get those guidance from the senior members who are already on that path, and you get that validation. Okay, so I am on the right path. Maybe a step back, a step little bit, I'm not ahead of that, but maybe if I take the same path, I think I'm on the right path, I think. But the most important thing which I would really like to mention here is the mentorship, because there are two mentorship, uh, I think that I was part of two different mentorship group, and both were very different topic, and I could really learn those things really well. And it was such a great moment for me when learning those things and then expanding. So I could really relate with there was a theme of the last year PSS, which was expand, influence, and transform. I think in the last 1 year, I could see my expansion. I could see the influence with people around what you mentioned, Jayesh, was the most important thing, because there is energy. And then I could also see the transformation, because what Vidhu was saying regarding the post, I used to post before, like I used to write on LinkedIn, but I could not speak on LinkedIn. But now I can see I can also record my video, and I can also post regularly, like what challenge which has been thrown by PSA Bangalore. That's so amazing, so brilliant that it gives me energy, because when you open LinkedIn someday, if you really want to take a step back and you don't want to do it, and then you open your LinkedIn and see that people are posting their videos,
Mm.
I also want to do that. So
Yeah.
that's the
That's the
energy
power
which,
of community.
that's the power of community, exactly. And I remember last 2 3 months I could not join a lot of activities and the events, because there was some
Mm.
personal reason. My mother had an operation, so I could not participate in few things. I always had that feeling of FOMO, that I am not able to do that. But still, there was a pull from the community. Okay, so Devesh, yes, you have to come forward and participate in all those things. And we are here. I'm again participating. I'm again recording the video. I think today I posted, it was 7 days streak of creating that videos and posting. So that gives me a lot of confidence, because there are people who love your video, who give some comment. Uh, and then
Yeah.
again, I mentioned about the validation, which validation is coming through different people, and the experts who are there in terms of the professional speaking. So there are huge amount of learning in the entire year, and I'm just looking forward. I have renewed my membership for the next year. I'm looking forward to the next
Great.
year. And
Great.
let's
Great. That
yeah,
that
just
calls for a clap.
yes. Thank you very much.
Yes. So before we actually proceed with some more questions, I would like to read out some of the comments. So as usual, Harish ji's comment is something which I would like to highlight. So the first comment which actually touched me is, everyone has an innate power to conquer the stage. Just let go your fear and go out and deliver. Well said, Harish ji. So this is you can say it's a master stroke which you have given. And then we have comments from Radhika ji. We have comments from Abhijit, Subramaniam ji, uh, Miss Lali, uh, Dr. Professor Sona Kaushal, Miss Chimukutti. So there are a host of comments. Comments are from Mr. Lokesh. I don't have the bandwidth right now to say, but thank you all for providing that energy from the virtual background. We can feel it here.
See, the energy is here also. We can feel
Yeah.
we can feel those energies.
Yes. So now I'll come back to the theme of the topic which we are here today, because PSI was a good journey, and I'm sure now one of the curious questions which new attendees like us have, that what's going to happen in PSS 2025. So to get a cue of that, could you share some of your experiences of the PSS 2024? So I leave the volunteering up to both of you, that who wants to go first. So I have been the chooser. Now I want to open the board. So Divesh,
I
do you want to go first? Okay, yeah, yeah, Divesh, over to you.
No, I'm saying I'll give it to Midhu.
Okay, okay,
You want to
that's
go
the
first?
spirit. Yeah.
Both of you have been very kind in choosing me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, what I saw in PSS 2024 was a lot of networking. We met a lot. We met who's who of the speaking industry. You were able to ask your questions to them, and they were so kind enough to share everything so transparently in terms of um, so something that I kind of understood, and not just from PSS 2024, but also in the last 1 year. The day in the life of a speaker, it's not just that go from one event to another event to another event and you get assignments left, right, center. It's not necessarily that. There's a lot of hard work which goes behind the scenes, and that is not restricted to topic development. It's to identify um, and clean up your niche. Be very sharp about your niche. What is it that you want to speak, and how is it that you get those opportunities where someone needs you, and how is it that you can connect to the audience. Sometimes you might have to say no to the opportunities because it doesn't align with your values, right? So there are a lot of things that the speakers share, especially in events like this, because you also do get a lot of networking time with them, which is in between those talks they deliver, the keynote sessions, maybe during your lunch, maybe in the evening sessions. We also do have breakout room discussions that happen. People deliver their keynotes, people deliver the message. There is a lot of experiential learning that I've seen has happened in PSS 2024. And definitely, I'm looking forward to that kind of an experience in 2025. Since I'm also part of this community, I see the Josh which is there. We are already sort of ready for 2025, and I'm very sure that this is a bigger, larger, better even than 2024. And why do I say that? Because that's what I've seen every month on month. We have new ideas coming up, we have new events coming up, we have new education session coming up. So PSS 2025 has to be better. So that is my expectation. I also wanted to indulge in curated networking. So let's, fingers crossed, how it's going to be.
So I take the biggest learning is networking. So just tell me one thing. The people whom did you meet in PSS 2024 when it came to networking? Did it have a direct impact or an indirect impact into your public speaking career or anything? So, just if you can put a little bit brief into a way in one or two sentences that, for example, did this network was just only limited to your public speaking career, or did it expand your horizon beyond that?
Sure, that's an awesome question. So there are three things that I'd like to pull from what Devesh said. So one thing is that he took a break from PACI in terms of active participation, and he got pulled back into it by the power of tribe, right? So you meet people, they become your buddies, they because you do have shared interests, probably you have shared niche, and they keep you accountable as well. So that is some. I mean, isn't that a great gain? It is
Yeah.
not about
Mhm.
finding those opportunities, and it is not about being on stage and delivering. There are these soulful conversations, like I was just telling somebody yesterday. This season of sharing, caring, giving joy, dil mange more conversations, right? And PACI gives you that in terms of, there are people who actually reach out to you when you're down and out because of whatever reason. You can share what you want, you don't want to share, that's fine, but they bring you back into being productive. They engage in meaningful conversations. They bring you back into being productive. How? Because we do have these very regular connects and meetups that happen, and you just get into the flow. You're not going to be stuck with you have your personal life or professional life, whatever it is, but you also move forward with this tribe. So that's something that I've seen. Another thing is that there are a lot of opportunities to network out here. I'm sorry, there are a lot of opportunities to volunteer out here. Any idea that you present, if it sounds reasonable, if the, let me call the tribe, the janta, feel that that is something that they can benefit from, or rather the community can benefit from, you can go forward with it. Which means that it is almost like your own baby. You can shape it the way that you want, you can make it go this way, that way, you can direct it the way that you want, and there is absolute autonomy and flexibility out here. So let's step away from speaking, it develops you as an individual as well.
That's well said. Well said. 360-degree development. And I knew a saying from one of my mentors. He said that today's age is not the age of industrial machines. So the 21st century is going to get governed by knowledge, and the person who governs the knowledge, even during the time of AI, if you are able to think creatively, if you are able to keep the human skills, there is no machine in the world which can replace you. And probably what I could get is that is the sort of network that you actually were able to experience build during PSS 2024. And looking forward to 2025, it's going to be much grander.
Yeah, open conversations, open mindset, progressive community, a community that likes learning and development so much. We don't look back, we only look forward.
Yeah. Thank you.
That is
Thank you.
PSAI.
Yeah. So this question over to you again, Divesh. We are all curious to know what was the experience you had in PSS 2024.
Okay, so for me it was a little special because I was part of Delhi chapter, and Delhi chapter was hosting PSS last year. So I will break it into three parts: before PSS 2024, during PSS 2024, and after that. So before PSS 2024, the moment I joined, Sandeep Gupta sir was kind enough to give me an very important opportunity that I had to do during the PSS 2024. We worked very hard to get that, organized in a best possible way. We prepared hard, and we kind of, it was arranged in a very well manner. That was the first exposure for me as a part of community member and hosting one of the event. So very good experience for me on the day, those 2 days of PSS 2024. It was such a great experience that I mentioned about that expand, influence, and transform. It happened with every speaker who came on the stage, and the way they delivered the message was brilliant. I could still, there were a few things which just got stuck into my mind. Still remember Mariana Pascal was a speaker, and she was talking about, as a speaker, you don't have to only think about speaking, but you have to think like a director. And when you think like a director, you think end to end. So it kind of got stuck into my mind whenever now I talk, whenever I think about speaking or something like that. That things always comes into my mind. So, and similar to that, there were other speakers, Indian speakers and the international speakers. They had some great messages which could really give you that, those inputs which you really wanted to have as a professional speaker. Plus, what Midhu mentioned about networking, yes, you are exposed to so many international plus Indian speakers where you have that connection. And meeting virtually is, that's fine, but when you meet physically, when you have that, warmth to shake your hand and hug somebody, you had a different connection altogether. So that was the experience during the event. And then after that, everybody, because I was there and I was visible during that event, everybody called me and they congratulated about, the participation which we had, and the way, the success which we had in that event. So overall, I think, PSS 2024 was a grand event. And as Midhu mentioned already, that this one is going to be bigger, better, and crazier. And we don't know, so momentum is still there. We're already trying to build those momentum. Really excited to see PSS 2025. But I think for me, it was first and a grand experience in PSH 2024. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm able to see it has actually boosted your self confidence in one way. And what you just talked about, that the professional speaking is not only about the speaking, it's about the brand, it's about a director who actually puts out a film. So the story has to be right, the direction has to be right, everything has to be right. And the
Right.
point is, when everything is right, probably the delivery actually makes that sense. And I would compare it with some sort of an Olympic. Like, people used to talk about that Olympic is not about just about physical sport. It is about the best, bringing the best in the human physical fitness or the capabilities of a human. So I would say that professional speaking, or PSS 2024, also aim to actually bring out the best in what the finest minds can actually deliver as a message to the world. So it is some sort of a, like an Olympic of the mind in a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
great, 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 great. So that inspires us to bring more to this. And so now, since you have got a flavor of 2024, now I'm more curious, and like me, the first time attendees should also be more curious to know that what should we expect in 2025, in a way that if we were to be just trying to see that what could be one of the areas that we should prepare ourselves. Because when I have seen personally in my events, if the intentions are not clear with the people have different expectations, and you are not able to actually take out the entire juice from that event. So if you were to give a message to the new speakers or the new attendees, that what could be the 2025, and what should we do as a, these things when we are setting our intentions or expectations into the mind. So this question again, I leave it to both of you who would like to volunteer it, because you both are very influential speakers. I'm unable to figure out whom do you I want to take it first and whom to take second.
Devesh, why don't you go ahead?
Okay. So I think for, PSS 2025, as we both mentioned the same thing, that's going to be bigger and better, and we are already started building that momentum. A lot of things are happening, and we are just working about that. The most, one of the first thing which I really want to mention is it's going to happen in Amchi, Mumbai. So that's the biggest pull for me for PSS 2025, because now it's not in Delhi, it's going to be in the Bollywood cities. So you are going to travel to Mumbai and meet, all those different people. Uh, Again, as we mentioned about the networking, I we had a surge of exposure to different speakers, and now since there are different members who have joined, we have just met virtually. Maybe Jayesh also, we are waiting for the virtually, but we have never met physically. So there will be a lot of people who are going to meet. We are going to do the networking, and the theme which you can see PSS 2025, the theme is momentum, where we are trying to get that fuel to accelerate our journey. So we will get all those elements, all those pushes, all those energies, so that we can accelerate as a professional speaker. We already expanded and got influence and transformed. Now it's a time to get that momentum and accelerate your journey. So I think as a professional speaker, my journey is, I think it's on the right path, where I have expanded last year, and this year it's going to be building that momentum and then accelerate as a professional speaker. So I'm looking forward to PSS 2025. It's going to be, surely it's going to be bigger and better. Yes, so that's my excitement for PSS 2025.
Yeah, well said. So we have one more comment from Sandeep ji. So he says that come to PSS 2025 with an open heart and an open mind. You will go back as a changed person. I resonate with the idea. I don't know.
Same
What
here,
about you?
same,
I
exactly.
absolutely agree. I think that's a very powerful statement. See, one thing that PSS 2024 did for me, let's say I was version 1 at that point in time. I was at crossroads thinking, what is it that I need to pursue in terms of professional goals? That 2 days, the 2 days that I spent, um, I'll tell you one thing. Each and every session is a reflective session. It's not like watching a movie. You see the performance and then you forget the story and you move on. No, it's not like that. There are very meaningful, reflective questions that come into your mind, either asked by the speakers themselves or that just happens. Those reflection naturally happens, in your head. I can guarantee that because it happened to me that you will be able to get out of there. I did that in 2024 with an action list of action items or points to ponder. So that is a definite takeaway. And then you can probably go back and think which are the areas that I need to develop, or probably is it something that I really want to do, and is it something that I want to develop, and is it where I see my future. So these kind of reflection questions will definitely happen in your mind. So that is a definite takeaway. Second is, you'll definitely know what's happening in the speaking world, not just in India but across, because we do have a lot of international speakers as well coming. Thirdly, I don't think I mentioned this earlier. I'm a part of the Bangalore chapter. So we have transformed and evolved together, especially in the last quarter, wherein we have actually developed our speaker profiles, our niches, and sharpened our niches, and even worked on multiple keynote speeches. If this can be done by a chapter, um, wherein we meet probably once a month offline in physical meetings, imagine what a powerful event that has got the theme of momentum can do to you. It can just change your life. So expect that. Expect big things from 2025, and you'll get it for sure.
Right. You now your actually both of your experiences have actually helped me at least to change the intentions into the way that when you go to this event, this is not like any other business event. It's an experiential event.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's a more of a takeaway event. So whatever you learn, whatever you implement. So one was that we understand through the power of reading, we understand something to the power of listening, and I see that this event is a combination of all of them. You feel the energy, you see the magic happening in front of your eyes, you listen, and the one of the biggest point is you're learning and getting to know from somebody who has been at least 10x time into this journey. So that's a great opportunity, and whoever is yet to participate or yet to register for PSS 2025, please don't miss out this opportunity. So probably this is something which is not going to come at any point in time, because that's one sort of a thing that some recorded sessions may give you a glimpse, but what you experience during that time is something which is not going to be there. I'm grateful to you, Miss Midhu and Divesh, to actually open up the plethora of the things. So now, before we actually move on to our conclusion, uh, I would like to ask a question to both of you. As you have been in the past 1 year, you have the experience of looking at PSS 2024. We have a lot of listeners who are in PSCI or are planning to look for a public speaking or a professional speaking career, and there would be somebody who is like just evaluating that whether it is for me. So in general, if we were to ask you that what could be your message to our listeners today who are there, so both from PSCI and non PSCI community, so what would be that message? I would like this time I would like to pass on this question to Miss Midhu, as ladies first.
Sure. They say that to gain expertise in a field, you need to put in about 10,000 hours of work. That's what they say. Imagine doing this all on your own and figuring out your path. I think it'll be very boring, dull. I might even keep that monkey off my back many times and then probably not lift it up as well. But imagine doing this with a community who's very driven, who's progress oriented, and who's very consistent. That's what I am doing, and that is what has helped me in my journey this year. I just told you sometime back I was probably version 1.0 when I was in Feb 2024. I can safely say that I'm version 2.0. So that's what it has done to me. Now think about it. Do you want to do that to yourself? Do you want to be version 2.0, a better version?
So I think that's the message which is clear. Do you want to remain stagnant where you are, or do you want to refine and transform yourself into a next version of you?
Version
Now to
2.0.
you, Devesh, the same question.
I think I will not say much what Midhu has mentioned already. I think she's very right in terms of when she said that version 1.0 to 2.0, you have that opportunity. I would really want to highlight, I mean, one very important thing in this community is that there are people in the community whom you don't have to go and ask about the help. They will call you to tell you that, okay, so do you need any help? I can say a few people. I can say the name Sandeep sir, Alka ma'am, Harish sir. They offered the help. This kind of contributions are there, are there in the community. You will not find it anywhere else. So as a as a purpose coach, I define there is a purpose statement. When I define this, there are three elements into that. One is role, second is contribution, and third is impact. Contribution is one of the most important thing as a human also, that gives us fulfillment. And we can see contribution all, everywhere in this community, everybody, because that's a culture and value which we have. I think we have everywhere. And because of that, we also get that kind of intention that, okay, so if somebody is helping me, why shouldn't I help somebody else? And that's the way it can, the things are passing on. So people who are still skeptical joining PSAI and try to think that should I do that or not, if you really want to accelerate your journey, I mean, this is the place where you can really do that. And if you really want to think about the professional speaking, the way you want to truly express yourself, there are people who will support you, and they will make it possible within a very short span of time. So don't think, take the action. That's the message.
Can I
That's
just add
well
one
said.
bit?
Yeah, yeah, please, please.
You can go at the speed that you want. With whatever be your speed, you will get support. You want to go at breakneck speed? Yes, you can. There are so many opportunities. And definitely, like Devesh said, contributing will give you that sense of satisfaction, fulfillment for sure, but you also learn. So it gives you all the opportunities. You can go at a pace that you want.
That's well said. And I take from what Divesh said that you have somebody who is ready to offer you help in today's world where we look for, let's say, competition, non sharing of data, non collaborative approach. This is a community where collaborative approach is there. And I can say I have not been a member of the community for at least a year. It's been hardly 6 months, but I can definitely see that just by following what people are doing, you can actually add 20 or 30% to your things. So I was there on LinkedIn, but not in a way to communicate my message out. I remember one of the statements, it was given by Harish ji, that don't put the comment to somebody else just for the sake of putting a comment. Put the comment to make an impact, to make somebody a change, and to spread your message out in the world, to see that your talks, your words have the power to create that impact. And that from that moment onwards, it changed a very paradigm shift into the way I used to comment on somebody's thing. So that's one thing. So now we are at the verge of winding up these things. It was a wonderful session with both of you, and the key learning which I take right now is that PSS 2025 is not just any event; it's an experiential event where you get to network with people, where you can have an experiential learning from somebody who has been playing the professional speaking game. Something like you are going to meet a Sachin Tendulkar or an MS Dhoni of a professional speaking, both from the domestic as well as an international arena. And this is something which you cannot get it so often and so easy. So this is a little exclusive thing. And as you both said, that speaking is not just only about talking, it's about the power of expression and creating the impact. And in 21st century, we all are thought leaders, we all have our areas of expertise, and speaking is something which is definitely a natural way of expressing ourselves. So why not use this opportunity, why not use this organization to give our message in a much better way to the world, so that we all in 21st century transform our country, our society, our globe with new ideas and thoughts. So this is the message which I drew from the today's discussion, and I leave this message to all the audience, that do you be on the fence side or do you want to be on the playing side? Because being a player definitely has a sort of risk and fear, but the rewards are also rewarding. And being on the audience has been the audience, and we have, most of us has been in the audience for a long period of time. So let's try to not transform by sitting in the audience. Let's take the plunge, take it, and whatever the help and the support is needed, the community is there for you. Thank you all. Thank you for a wonderful evening. And thank you for all our listeners. Before I wind up, I would like to congratulate the members who have been the listeners and the active participants on our today's show. So thank you to Dr. Algaji. Thank you, Lali ji. Thank you, Harish ji. Thank you, Sandeep ji. Thank you, Ms. Anupriya, for uh, managing this entire thing from the backstage. Thank you. Thank you, Cruzina, for your wonderful comments. Thank you, Subramaniam ji, for enlightening us that this is the power of a tribe. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Radhika ji. Thank you, Dr. Professor Sona Kaushal. Thank you, Miss Chimu Kutti. Thank you, Sagar. And thank you to some of the people whom, thank you, Ram Prasad ji. Thank you, Suresh ji. Thank you, Premraj ji. And thank you to many other people who have not been putting the comments, but for listening to this entire thing. And hope we were able to give you a glimpse of what's there in the store. Thank
And
you.
thank
Have a
you so much. Thank you so much, Jayesh. And thank you so much, Divesh. It was a lovely time with the two of you. Thank you so much.
Same here. Thank
thank
you very much. Thank you everyone who is listening to us. And I'm just waiting to read all those comments. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Good
thank you.
evening.
Thank you. Good evening.